It's the Washington football team taking on the Seattle Seahawks.
We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Seattle Seahawks and the Washington football team. With my good friend Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we have arrived at another new season. I had a little more pep in my step this morning. I know you did as well. Here we go.
Yeah, when you went out for your 5-mile jog, you were flying. You did it in record time because you were psyched up about this game. But let's be frank about it. No more radio shows, no more podcasts, no more just predicting what's going to happen. Now we get to see it on the field.
And no run back on this one, so the new season will begin at the 25-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by the first overall selection of the 2016 draft. From Cal, it's Jared Goff.
There's a toughness about Jared Goff that maybe he doesn't get enough credit for. His freshman year at Cal, team went 1-11. His rookie year with the Rams, he was 0-7 as a starter. Undaunted in either case, and has come back each and every time to flash the ability that made him the #1 overall pick in the draft when he came out of Cal.
Goff on first down. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, third down.
Incomplete. It's third down.
Out of the gun. Goff. Knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. The safety, Jamal Adams, able to break that one up.
Two things you can do in that situation: run and punt the football, or try and take your shot at getting the first down. They chose the latter, but they'll have to punt all the same.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Here comes Grant on the return. A nice punt, but a good run back as well, 13 yards. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. And here's a look at their leader, standing 6'4".
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and that tells me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense the next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Here's a 2nd and 7. Finding a safety valve. That's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a first down on a gain of 10. And a nice start there to the aerial attack to pick up the first.
And I think preseason is officially over now. Getting into the groove of the regular season, that's a great way to get started. First drive of the season, what a nice completion.
The ball carried by number 2.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
On the ground, this is Leonard Fournette. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And they'll get that to Fournette, complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25.
10 yards there, good for a Washington first down.
Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did. Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. It makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
2nd and 11 at the Seahawks 20.
2nd and 11. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Taylor Rapp with a pick. When you're in man coverage, you have help over the top. You become a much more confident defender. Trail the receiver and know that someone over the top can make a play, and that's exactly what happened here. The free safety coming up with the interception. After the interception, here's Goff. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
2nd and 6 at the 24-yard line.
A shotgun snap for Goff. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home.
13 yards.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Underneath for Jones.
And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
Now a handoff looking right. Nice little juke. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus, the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week. 2nd and 2. The throw on target to his receiver, McKenzie. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. A gain there of 30 big ones. When teams practice their plays during the week, they're hoping that it's going to pay off on game day. So it sure has to feel good for them when they hit them during a game, and they hit that one there for big yardage. It's into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. A 22-yard touchdown grab.
And Washington has taken a first-quarter lead.
Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover, and you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone.
Takes this about 5 yards deep. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25.
25-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And this is their 3rd drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 24-yard line.
Ball at the 24 and a 2nd and 11.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Seahawks, nothing.
On 2nd and 11 now. Goff setting up the screen here. Aaron Jones. A good job defensively to hold that to 4 yards, and now it's 3rd down. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future all-pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago, really it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
Team to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff. This offense has definitely been slow getting out of the gate. It's almost like they missed their wake-up call for this one. No points on their first 2 possessions, and now it's looking like none on this one either.
Returnable for Grant.
A very good kick there, but 15 yards on the return.
And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe.
Now, that was an excellent run, and when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job, and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down leads us to 3rd and inches.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion. On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down.
Slant to Jones.
That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Looking deep for Julio. Man, it's caught inside the 10. He takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Julio Jones, 45 yards.
And Washington going to add on to their lead.
Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. But sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. That's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long, man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Timer pass set to kick off.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Taken in the end zone. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt a return.
25-yard line.
Seattle again getting ready to take over offensively.
So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was trying to get it to George Kittle, his tight end. And now it's on second down.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Throwing on 3rd, Goff. Gets this to his running back, Aaron Jones. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis?
They'll take the offset. When you talk about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of a season. They're throwing 2 touchdown passes. That's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
They'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the second quarter.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Steps away to his left. The left side completion to Jones. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 16 yards, a little deja vu from the previous play where they got 16. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here. But you said it earlier in the quarter when we saw a broken tackle then that we might see some missed tackles here early on in week 1, and that's another one right there.
Yeah, not a surprise at all. It will even out.
And this is taken in for a Washington touchdown. Harris Campbell there to make the grab. And Washington is able to stretch their lead. And man, Charles, talk about zinging something in there. Those gloves, they help with one-handed catches, the fun stuff. Any padding for a rocket like that?
One would think so, but I'll guarantee you this. After that throw, his hands will hurt later. Not right now in the moment. He's just feeling good about catching it.
Yeah, a little stinger, but a touchdown. And he knocks it through. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it was polished off by a Washington touchdown. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Fielded in the end zone. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
Their own 25-yard line.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Second and
looking to throw again on second down. Goff.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He can make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. From the gun on third down, Goff. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it. And he will bring this one back. It is a pick six for a Washington touchdown.
Washington.
That pick six extending this lead even further. And boy, it's been a while since I've seen a team struggle this badly in the first half.
I think all they want to do is get to the locker room, try and regroup, and come out to start the third quarter. But if things don't improve fast then, I think the backups get a lot of play in the second half.
Point after, right down the middle. And a route is on here in this first half. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
Getting set to go again here on offense. Jared Goff trots back onto the field. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people. Lean on your teammates. Find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Goff. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Again, Goff. To the sideline, and it's caught, but boy, he's out of bounds. Now they tried to get him into space coming out of the backfield, but it'll be 3rd down.
He was covered by Dante Jackson.
To the air again. Goff. Open target here, Darius Slayton. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. Here's Dustin Hopkins now to try the field goal. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And this won't get there. Won't be on line either. It's no good. Off to the right. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, listen, now, no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all-state, and other positions, not just soccer players.
All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the 3rd.
Dustin Hopkins set to kick off.
We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. He's enjoying a great deal of success. His team is also enjoying a great deal of success.
Yeah, he's got that nice little, what I call the QB lean going right now. You see that little stroll that he's got
swagger
going? Yeah, he's definitely got that. You see him throwing the football, the nice little video. He's seeing that in his head as well because he wants more of that to happen. So anytime you see him that relaxed, that comfortable, usually it's a big thumbs up for his team.
And it's been a big highlight day for him. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
The quarterback taken down.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down. So good work there on the defensive side for the first drive of the second half.
Yeah, and until their offense can get into rhythm, their defensive players and staff have got to say to themselves, we've got to make it work. We've got to stand in here and make sure nothing else happens until our guys start moving the ball.
At their own 35-yard line.
Here comes the Seahawks offensive unit. They'll have it first to begin the third. And, Charles, the good news, they got the stop defensively. The bad news, this is a huge hole that they're in right now. How do they start to dig out of it?
That's a great question because we're not even going to talk about how do they win it, right? We want to see how they can kind of claw back and at least make themselves feel better about the game, because this one is likely out of reach, but maybe one possession at a time, try and play a little bit better and have some respect when you come out of the game.
The throw on the quick slant going to be complete. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. A gain of 13, it's a first down.
Seahawks, first down.
To throw is gone. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over him.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
A run with Jones on first down, not going to yield much. A yard tops. Second down coming up.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now it's gone. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down. Here's Goff. He's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfrow. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line.
They're still looking for their first touchdown of the game, and for a second, I thought they had it right there.
Looking on the sideline, it's finally good to see nods of approval as a welcome sign of life that this offense needed. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Seahawks are able to close the gap just a bit. Well, he had the big run to get down there, so you got to let him finish it off, don't you?
I think so, but what I liked even more, the fact that he wanted to finish it off. How many times have we seen a guy break off a big run, and we see that universal sign where he's tapping his helmet to get me out of the game? No! Stay out on the field and enjoy the benefits of the success you created.
And he hits pay dirt because of it.
And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
Takes over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field.
Still operating with a comfortable lead despite the score a moment ago as they begin 1st and 10.
Now they try the right side here. He'll have a first down past the 40. He'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 34 yards there and a first down.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. They're going to look to throw. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. They'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds.
22 more yards there and another first down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen.
And he's caught. Touchdown, Washington. Harris Campbell, already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend.
And Washington able to stretch that lead out even further.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. It's up and good, and they're in control now, 35-7. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And the result, a touchdown for Washington.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Taken in the end zone. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25.
As Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Now a man open down the middle of the field. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35.
The 22 more yards there and another first down.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
First down.
Here's Jones. Working his way for a gain of 7 to the 26.
Number 33.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
And 3.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Goff. Throw left side complete. It's Jones. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. 3rd and 2. Goff. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They'll run it with Jones. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Remember, that was 4th and a full 2 yards. There's a big difference between that and 4th and maybe 6 inches or a yard.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because when it's at 6 inches, you just fall forward and you pick it up, right? You just go quarterback sneak. But having to move bodies, that means you actually have to execute because they know what you're going to do. How are you going to make the right play call and get everyone into the right spot and win at the line of scrimmage? That's what they did there.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
To throw again on 2nd down. Goff. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. And what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain. You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield. They had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. They go ahead and snap it. Go. And it is incomplete. The Seahawks go for it but can't convert.
And Washington will have it on the turnover on downs.
Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any 4th down stop is a big momentum play.
Over the middle, complete It's McKenzie. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A well-executed 22-yard gain. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. They're still throwing the football here. Now, obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. Washington on 3rd down. They've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. A first down there on a pickup of 25. And looking to put this game on ice in the 4th quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
He was trying to find Noah Fant, the tight end, but it'll be 2nd down.
They're certainly not letting up on the pressure in this one, and oftentimes you hear this expression, all gas, no break from defenses. But in this case, it's the offense still throwing the football up big in the 4th quarter.
This will be caught inside the 10. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. The Washington passing game dialed in now. It's a first down. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
A gain of 7 that time. 2nd goal. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Markel Lee. Coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. What a stand this would be if they can get the stop here, 3rd and goal. And this will be caught, and the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. I think all teams probably like seeing that schedule for the first time, looking at week 1. Oh, good, we're at home. This is why you want to be home in week 1. They're looking sharp.
And I agree with you totally. That's what you want. But there carries a little extra pressure with that as well because you and I both know protecting the home field, winning your home games is paramount in this league. So you go into it, yeah, we want it, but now you actually have to go out and prove it.
Yeah, 2 sides to that coin and looking like they're going to protect it here in this one. Takes this about 5 yards deep, and no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard.
Seattle again getting ready to take over offensively. And they knew coming in that this would be a tough place to go in and win a season opener. But this has just been a performance, to be frank, not to be proud of here as they trail big in this 4th quarter. Now Goff on first down. Smith catches left side. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A good pickup there, 21 yards. And that catch number 100 for his young career. And remember, only in his 2nd season. The future, bright. They'll fake the give. Now Goff. He's going to find and complete it to Renfro. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Goff on first down.
He'll drop this underneath for Jones.
And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 3 yards the gain there, second down. It's going to be caught. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1.
First and goal, Seattle.
Call that a very strong gain of 24. Goff throwing again. And it'll be intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu.
Goff's pass intercepted. They'll take over first and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Looks like he'll throw here. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And one of the whistles for timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down.
Today's finals, Washington.
But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
As an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Washington, defeat here in the